Welcome to Good Morning Vail. For this Sunday, November 12th edition, I'm your host, Ben Roof, and on today's show, we're going to be celebrating our partnership with Covered Bridge magazine. I'm sure you've seen these out and around in the community, and it is a fantastic local publication that talks to local artists, writers, musicians, businesses, and everything else going on around the Vail Valley. So stay tuned for Good Morning Vail, where we're going to talk all things Covered Bridge.
Good morning, Vail.
Lions Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lions Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on mountain perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. As part of our partnership with Covered Bridge, Sandy Ferguson Fuller sat down and talked about her family's history up at Piney Ranch and her own history here in the Vail Valley, talking about her article, Happy Trails, Piney Valley or Piney Lake Journey. Let's take a look.
Hello and welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. I'm Kim Fuller, the co-founder of Jaunt Media Collective and editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
I'm Bobby LaRue, the other half of Jaunt Media Collective and the director of partnerships over at Covered Bridge magazine. And today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Sandy Ferguson Fuller, who did an amazing feature called Happy Trails for our upcoming issue. And like many of us, she's had the pleasure and joy of venturing to Piney River Ranch. And Sandy, where did this kind of come from, the impetus of writing about Piney River Ranch and your experience with it?
Well, the theme of your forthcoming Covered Bridge is journey. Mm-hmm. And there hasn't been a greater journey than my experiences really in the Vail Valley, starting from the very first year of Vail all the way to now. And had children and needed to have a place where I could go put them in a tent and we could go fishing and go hiking and feel safe and not encounter a lot of people. And at that point in time, which was about the early 1990s, I would say, the three of us with our dog would go up to Piney Lake every summer. It was a tradition, and we would camp a couple of years. One year it was in a blizzard and we were the only people there. But I've always felt very, very attached to the area, to Piney, and my current dog is named Piney after the lake. I was very fortunate to camp with you when you were growing up, and I was also very fortunate a couple of years ago to attend your wedding there. So it's been, throughout the years, a very special place.
So the cat's out of the bag. This is my mother-in-law and her mom.
Yep.
Right.
It's been really fun to work with my mom in magazines. So you have a long history of publishing. We did a segment with you. You do a lot of book reviews for the magazines and a lot of long-form articles like this one, Happy Trails, as well as illustration. Right. So it's been a joy, and I think this piece, when we start to work on our magazines, we put out a theme and our writers come forward with some ideas, and this was sort of like screaming from the rooftops for you. You're like, I just feel this in my bones. Right. But what came out of the piece wasn't just a personal narrative or a first person essay. It was a woven narrative of history and the history of your history there, the history of people visiting the lake for the first time, and really through the years, starting in the 1800s, and I'd love to read an excerpt from this feature, so I'll dive right in. So September, it's dawn, early 1800s. A mist blankets the alpine lake as warm water meets chilly air. Rainbow trout rise to paint surface ripples. From the willows, a bull moose slowly ventures out for breakfast, heavy head dipping low, then lifting, dripping with a mouthful of aquatic plants. An eagle spreads its shadow high across the landscape as the sun rises behind the Gore Range. Perhaps a solitary ute lingers, but otherwise no human is present to observe the beauty. Imagining Piney Lake in the early 1800s, what did you learn about that area and the lake from your research?
Well, when I started to write the article, and one thing that's interesting about writing for magazines is that you're supposed to have a limited word count.
Yes.
And I was not too far into the idea for the article until I realized this was much more of a story than I had ever imagined, just going way back. Ironically, there's very little written history about Piney Lake itself. Piney River Ranch is starting to collect more photographs, tidbits of information everywhere they can, but it was scraping the barrel to find anything. So my idea was to go chronologically, to go back as far as I could. Mount Powell is the prominent mountain behind the lake and in the Gore Range, and John Wesley Powell was the famous explorer who discovered the Grand Canyon. Well, didn't discover, but pretty much discovered the Grand Canyon. And on his way, climbed in the Gore Range at Long's Peak, Pikes Peak. And so they ultimately named the mountain after him. So that was in the 1800s, and I started there. And then fast forward, just took each kind of major segment of history, only gave it a paragraph. But when the homesteaders came and the wildlife and how they had to change, and the Native Americans, and then we had the railroads were there, and then we had development in Colorado. The Denver Water Board ended up buying the land from private homesteading, and then going from the 1960s when that was done all the way to the present and the current owners of the land, and all of the ups and downs, the roller coaster ride that people have had trying to walk that fine line of recreating the area and also preserving it for preserving the land for the wildlife, for the beauty of the land. And very fortunately, the current regime at Piney River Ranch, they're all on the same page. They're on the same page with the Colorado Parks and Wildlife, who we also brought in to talk to. I was able to talk to one of the original wranglers who lives in Denver now. He was fascinating, Bob Woods. And everybody who has a spot in their heart for Piney is actively trying to still maintain that preservation while opening up the area so that other people can enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think those of you who have not read the article yet, what I have, the thread that you tied through to that, to anyone, kind of when it passed hands throughout history, everyone seemed to understand the value of preserving this special place. I would have never had the opportunity to go there because I didn't show up to Colorado until 13 years ago, and I can't say how special it is just driving up to the lake. It's not rapid. You can't get there quickly.
No, you can't.
There's no way to get there fast. There are many people there, but they take the time to journey up to Piney River Ranch.
Right.
And once you're up there, you've nailed it from the 90s when you were bringing your kids there. There's a feeling. There's something special about the area. And to read that in your article is really cool. So I'm excited for people to actually get to see this article when it comes out in our summer issue.
I'm really excited for it, and I wanted to really thank, just publicly, the people who helped me with this article. Matt McKenna, who he's in New York, but he and his wife have a place in Wolcott, and they're longtime visitors to the valley, and he's really the main owner, along with some of his business colleagues, and then Monique, who is the general manager, who also plans all the weddings, but she's got a plate full. But she has been wonderful in just providing information and again, more color about the current direction that they're trying to establish at Piney. And then Devin Duvall was amazing with Colorado Parks and Wildlife. I mean, I learned so much from him about how they're working with the Forest Service and with Piney River Ranch. And it's just a combined effort to make sure that the land is preserved. And then I can't not mention my cowboy in Denver. Monique put us together on the phone, and he was just full of stories and is very excited to see the article. There's the picture of him I think that's going to appear in the article.
We do also have an illustration from you in the back of the magazine. So our parting shot is that last look, that last feeling that is a nod to the theme, and you had suggested something to do, possibly with happy trails, and it really did make sense to walk away from, the ranch or the lake and say, kind of see you next time, happy trails. And that was Bob. There's a quote from him.
Yes, I said, we'd love to have your words at the end of the magazine. So he said, I don't know, but he came up with them. And apparently I'd never seen this. I don't know why. There's a trail, a sign as you leave Piney River Ranch now, and it says Happy Trails. That's the sign that I used in the illustration, and perfect for a journey. So.
Well, thank you, Sandy. Thank you, Mom, for bringing me and my brother Scott up to Piney for so many years in the 90s when it it actually was still kind of crowded at times then, and now it continues to attract a lot of people because it's absolutely gorgeous. But I think echoing your sentiment to continue to preserve and respect the rules and boundaries of camping and just general use up there, and to support the business that is the ranch and enjoy your time visiting. So thank you for writing the feature. It's a wonderful addition to our Journey issue of Covered Bridge. And we thank you for joining us, for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time. Happy trails.
Good morning, Vail.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. As part of our continued partnership with Covered Bridge, we spoke to Maddie Rhodes, a local author and teacher, about her recent adventures to the top of Holy Cross as part of her Lessons from the Journey article. Let's take a look at that interview now.
Hi everyone, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller and I'm the co-founder of Jaunt Media Collective out of West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective and the director of partnerships. Today we have such a great person to talk with. Her name is Maddie Rhodes. She is a lovely local here who wrote a fantastic article for the upcoming issue of Covered Bridge magazine. Welcome, Maddie.
Thank you.
Maddie, tell us a little bit about your experience with writing and also starting to integrate that into your work as a teacher here in the Valley.
So I started writing in college and then kind of took a heavy break after college and worked in a few different fields and but felt the draw back to it. So ended up going to graduate school for creative writing, which I just finished in December. And as a part of my thesis, I wrote this essay about a hike that I did with one of our mutual friends this summer. And we hiked the Halo Ridge Loop. For anyone who's familiar with that, it goes up Holy Cross and then across this ridge down Notch. So it's pretty long, quite arduous, and unpredictable. And wrote a lot of other essays in that collection as well. But now I'm teaching English in the Valley for high schoolers.
Great. Well, Maddie had sent some of her writing over to the editors at Covered Bridge, and our theme for the summer and fall 2023 issue is Journey. When I read this out loud, I think Bobby and I were on a road trip somewhere, coming back from something, and we were both like, "Wow, this needs to be in print," and especially with all the wonderful photos you took. So the title of this feature is "Lessons from the Journey: Reflections from a Humbling Day on the Halo Ridge Loop," and I'm going to read a little segment of your your amazing essay, your amazing piece. On a July day last year, my friend Marissa and I set out to conquer the Halo Ridge Loop in Holy Cross Wilderness. When she first sent me the route on all trails, I responded, "Let's do it." My zealousness to summit Holy Cross and Notch in one day overcame the concerns I should have had about the terrain and our preparedness. Yeah. Maddie, tell us about this. And this really kind of sums up your piece, but there's a lot more to the story than that, right?
Yeah, I think it also kind of sums me up as a person. Anyone who knows me well knows that I'm pretty willing to say yes to a lot of adventurous situations, often without knowing exactly what I'm getting myself into. But I approach them with the can-do attitude.
Yeah.
And and then oftentimes reap rewards, and sometimes suffer some consequences. So, yeah, on this particular day, we had a great beginning, just a lot of enthusiasm with the 3:30 a.m. wake up, some granola bars or whatever. It was freezing. And I think we did this it was July. Yeah, we did it in July. And the night before, we had talked about fastest known times. So we're like, I wonder, if anybody has the fastest known time for this route. And there are a couple of, maybe 2 or 3 times for males, but none for females. So we're like, great. No matter how long it takes us to do this, we will get the FKT, which is awesome. So, and we were both runners training for big races. Marissa was training for a Leadville 100 bike race, and I was training for a marathon and a 50K for running in the fall. So we were both like pretty fit at this point, like ready to do something big. And we thought this was a trail that we could run a lot of. So we hike up the Holy Cross part, get to the top, everything's going smoothly, a little bit of altitude sickness, but it goes away. We're fine. So we have some snacks, take a little break, admire the wildflowers, and just, it's a beautiful day. And then we noticed one cloud, and we're like, okay, not looking great, but it's small, it'll probably go away. We're just gonna keep trucking along, maybe cut our planned breaks a little shorter, and keep an eye on that cloud. So we start down, go up the next ridge, and every time we go down and up, we keep thinking, the next ridge, it's gonna get flat. It's gonna get flat and it's gonna get runnable, right? It never did. We were bouldering basically for 6 hours over huge talus that was not stable and extremely dangerous. Like, we were not prepared for that, nor were we really capable of that type of terrain. So very sketchy conditions. And then we ended up making it to the Notch cabin. And then as soon as we looked around, exited, thunderclap. We're like, oh my gosh, we got to get out of here. So then we ran down the entire Notch side. So we got a little bit of a run in, but it wasn't pleasant. We were very tired, very sore at that point, and we were just scared that we were going to get stuck in a thunderstorm, which everyone knows is super dangerous. So that was kind of a quick summary of the day.
So you brought up a couple things there. Your willingness to do and go, right?
Yeah.
And how that sometimes really leads to some really great rewards. But this situation potentially could have gotten bad, right? So on your next big trip or your next big adventure that someone asks you to go on, or one of your students talks to you about their next big trip, what would be some advice, or what would be some ways that you could prepare a little bit more possibly for those potentials, or the outcome that you want of always reaping the rewards for some of these big yeses that you do?
Yeah, I mean, here, obviously, always check the weather and know that, we get afternoon thunderstorms. So prepare for those and plan to be done with your activity at noon or 1. That's just the safest way to do summer activities here, in my opinion. And that's what my parents and my, brother and I did growing up. But the past few summers have been crazy with our drought. We haven't really had those afternoon thunderstorms. Thankfully, we're starting to have them again, but yeah, plan for them, because you never know when you're going to have them and when you're not going to have them, and oftentimes they don't necessarily show up in the forecast. And it's funny that y'all's issue is called Journeys, because the class that I taught this fall to some juniors was called Journeys. And one of our main texts that we looked at was John Krakauer's Into the Wild, where he tells the story of Chris McCandless, who, dives into a transcendental lifestyle and fully just like sheds materialism and capitalism and goes and lives alone in Alaska. And that's major oversimplification of the book. Anyone who has read it would know that. But, we talked a lot about the journey that Chris was on and the things that he was searching for. And Krakauer weaves in other adventurers into the story to kind of compare and contrast these other adventurous, transcendentalist people from our present time to Chris. And it was so interesting that often these people are in environments very similar to ours, but they're encountering drought and thunderstorms and crazy weather events, and these are the things that are often killing them. And it's unpreparedness at the end of the day. So, no matter how much experience you have to always just not get cocky and not, just you keep the perspective that like you don't know what's going to happen out there, and be prepared for what could happen. Like the worst situation, it sounds a little bit morbid, but be prepared for the worst. And we talked a lot about like my students' stories. What have you experienced out in the wilderness, and what stories have you heard about locally when things have gone wrong, and how can we do things differently and prepare better so that we don't encounter those situations when we go out into the wilderness, into the backcountry.
Yeah, well, and what I loved, when your piece all came together, because you did cut it down for Covered Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original is super long.
I think it was something like 4,000 or 5,000 words, which is wonderful for, a short book or
a thesis.
Yeah, right. Our features were usually right around 1,200 to 1,500, so I tasked Maddie with cutting it down, and she did a wonderful job. And what I was most impressed with as well was how you wove literature and history into this piece on your experience of being out there that day, and then looking into some of the history around Holy Cross and the area, as well as Thoreau, Krakauer, some of these amazing writers that have touched on topics like this. And talk to me a little bit about that. Talk to us and the audience about that process of creating a piece that wove all of that together.
Yeah, so that's one of the things. My concentration in graduate school was creative nonfiction, which most people don't really know much about, but it's true. Well, there's a website, a publication called Creative Nonfiction, and their definition is true stories well told. I love that definition because it sums it up very succinctly. So creative nonfiction is a true story that's told in a creative way. So it, you weave in, like in my piece, I wove in local history that people might not be aware of, and it's relevant to my story. So it's not just what happened to me on this day, but I use imagery and I use history, and I just synthesize all of these things together to create something that's new and true, but different. So if you're not familiar with creative nonfiction, please Google it. It's great. But I've always had this fascination with Gilman and the history of our valley. And so when Marissa sent me this trail, I saw that it went over Notch, and I was like, oh my gosh, this has been on my list of things to do for a long time. Go up on Notch, see the view to Gilman from up there, and just like kind of absorb what it would be like to make that trek back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Like that is crazy to me that they were doing this with none of the supplies or the equipment that we have now that make it easy, and not even like the same trails that make it easy. So that was part of the draw to doing this hike in the first place. And so I felt like it was a necessity to weave all of that in. But also, it's not, I don't know, like my writing, it's not just about me. It's not interesting if it's only about me. You know, it's only interesting if you make it more global and more tangible to a broader community.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, you did a phenomenal job. And for those who haven't yet read this article, definitely pick up a summer and fall issue of Covered Bridge magazine. And you can also read the article online. But any closing questions for Maddie, Bobby?
No, I think it's been great to have you on, but it's super unique how you go on this really crazy experience, and it prompts you to write. And I think that's what's cool about this is like any experience can be something that allows you to put pen to paper, and that's really where storytelling starts, right? And I think that's something you would probably say to your students too. It's like just write it down, right? And like just get it out, right?
Yeah, I tell that to my students all the time. Put it pen to paper. It doesn't matter if it's good, if it's bad, if it's incomplete sentences, complete sentences, bullet points. Just make notes because you never know when they might come in handy.
Great. Well, thank you so much for inspiring us to be prepared when we, do big trips, but also, things do happen and they create great stories. So, Lessons from the Journey, Reflections from a Humbling Day on the Halo Ridge Loop by Maddie Rhodes. It's a feature in Covered Bridge this summer and fall. Thank you so much for being here, Maddie.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.vail.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com because there's always more for you on 92.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tva.vail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail. energizing.
Welcome back. Continuing our show about our partnership with Covered Bridge. Up next, we got Hugo Life and Dave and Matt Vans sitting down with Covered Bridge to talk about the partner between lifestyle and our living spaces and how those things can impact our health and our wellness. Let's take a look.
Hello, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. I'm Kim Fuller, co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge Magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge Magazine. We had the pleasure of sitting down with some really awesome locals that really celebrate collaboration and really have created some unique things for our valley and the state wide. So today we're sitting down with David Walsh with Van Life Customs, Alex and Kuhn of Hugo Life. Dave, can you give us a little idea of what Van Life Customs is and what you guys do over there?
Absolutely, Bobby. So we build bespoke camper vans on the Mercedes Sprinter, Ford Transit, and Ram ProMaster chassis. We're essentially set up as an upfitter, so you bring us an empty van and we build you the camper van of your dreams.
That's pretty awesome. And Alex and Kuhn, give us a little idea of how to pronounce your business and what exactly you guys do over there.
All right, so maybe we start with hygge. So hygge is a Danish word that doesn't translate directly, but it kind of means coziness. So it's just this feeling really good, content, happy in a moment. And our shop and cafe located in Eagle Vale is called Hugo Life. So we basically import all sorts of home goods, furniture, lighting, decor, from all over Scandinavia and Europe that we feel like creates an atmosphere that creates that hygge feeling.
Mm-hmm. So when I think of van life, I think of cozy, right? Of being in a van and being able to go anywhere you want and really create your life by design. So what was it, Dave, that, what was the impetus of starting to work with Hugo Life?
Yeah. Well, we've known Alex and Kuhn for a while here in the Valley, love going in their shop and checking things out. And every time I'd walk through there, I'd be like, wow, this would be so cool to incorporate in a van build. Like, how could we get this vibe in a van? Mm-hmm. It's definitely a small space, so it has to be done really clean and really simple. And the vibe that we saw every time we walked into Hugo was just exactly that, but it was still inviting. So yeah, we just kind of started kicking around some ideas and saw some finishes and some fabrics and thought, wow, maybe we could build a cool van out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first heard of this idea, I had what I would picture, like, oh, they're going to supply a few things. But after talking to Dave and during the build, it sounds like you guys had a pretty big part in creating what that interior of the van would look like.
We did. No, it was really fun to kind of start thinking a little bit out of the box from a home or a room, but to get to a room on wheels, really. And you do start thinking about colors, about fabrics in there, even how to position lighting, how to build in certain lighting. And then what objects and items can you bring in that both create a really good vibe, but are also super practical, of course, because you're going to get out there, you're going to be camping out, and which things can you use inside the camper van, but are also possibly to pull out when you're eating, dining, grilling, after swimming, relaxing, sitting in the sun. Mm-hmm. And then how to pack it all up and create a really cozy, comfy home, because it doesn't matter whether it's raining outside, you're sitting outside, but how to use those things all around.
Yeah, and Dave, you often work with clients in that way where they're designing their vans from scratch. Is this correct?
Yep.
And so that also includes aesthetic, and they can get as detailed as they'd like.
Yeah. Our customers can come in, they can choose from a number of different fabrics, or they can bring their own. We've done tufted leather seats or couches in the vans as well. The key is that we bring in ideas from the customer and we incorporate them into a durable solution that we have. Because these vans are going to do 70 miles an hour down the road, bumping along, down a washboard road to find a good rural off-grid campsite. So it needs to hold up too. So we had to bring like the nice high-end feel of a home and put it in something and keep it all together.
And Alex, you do the same at Hugo Life with guests or not guests, but customers who come in and they ask you for your amazing design advice. Are you able to go into their homes and help them in that way too?
Yeah, we actually just rolled out a styling program this last year, which has been going really well so far. And we're able to go into people's homes, and that could be, for a specific room, an office, the entire home, a living room. And we'll basically go in and help them with furnishings, lighting, decor. And so the van was actually a really fun project for us too, to practice our styling. Yeah.
What's really unique too, if you guys haven't been over to the shop in the wintertime, I don't know if you guys are doing this in the summer, but Saturdays are sauna days, is that correct? I saw that going on a little bit this year.
Yeah, just, so Hygge also definitely incorporates enjoyment, fun, a good time basically. And so to put that, and you can do Hygge. Hygge is used as a verb in the Danish language. So you could say, hey guys, come over for dinner, Hygge with us tomorrow night. And so we are always thinking of how to incorporate Hygge and to practically do it as well. In this case, we got like, well, why don't we put a sauna in front of the shop? Quite a nice Nordic thing to do, both relaxing and fun. So this past winter, we indeed every Saturday had a sauna in front of the shop. You could book an hour and come with some friends or family, and that hour, the sauna was yours. Coffee in the cafe before or after. Of course, they have the whole package. So we got a cold plunge next to it, and just indeed to just do Hygge as well. Not just say buy this, your home is going to be more Hygge, but totally to live it as well. Yeah, because it is Hygge life.
Right. It seems like we should be pulling the sauna with the van. That would be
That would be the most ideal thing. Yes.
I feel that with Hygge Life, it's always, for me, it's those things that I didn't know I needed, right? And like a sauna, or very much a part of the Scandinavian culture, and then once they're a part of your life, the candles, the cozy stuff, it just becomes integrated. So Dave, were there any things in the van that showed up that you were like, wow, I never would have thought of this until it's there, and now you're so many customers that you're going to
There absolutely were a few things. I think the lighting was a big thing. We have our normal built-in lighting that we use, but Alex and Kuhn brought in some great accent pieces. They have these little, is it like a little candelabra thing?
Yeah, it's like a little portable light.
Yeah, and it's like a touch light. It's amazing. And then the globe light with the handle on top was fantastic, and being able to hang that in the van and then grab it and take it out of the van. There was just some amazing accessories, and then there's nothing better than laying on, gosh, what was it, alpaca?
Sheepskin?
Well, the sheepskins are always amazing, but the blankets and the covers were just, it was the next level. Like it took this van to a really another place.
So the van is since sold, but if you guys want to reach out, I'm sure they could redo or refashion a total different Hygge Life van or a van from Dave. But what I want to focus on quickly before we end is, you've created some really unique businesses, but you both seemingly see the power and the opportunity of collaboration. And if you could just speak to that a little bit, because I think that's really what we're trying to celebrate at Covered Bridge and TV8 is how to work together within this silo of our valley, but then how to create more community around that.
No, yeah, what is really fun is indeed to see collaboration. We always believe that the more you collaborate, the sum of individual components becomes bigger than just a simple equation. And that's what we've always tried to do as well. So any partnership is really fun. And when we got to start talking about this idea, we're totally on board. And it doesn't always need to be resulting into this massive opportunity or big thing, but it really is about creating community, putting things out there together. You are stronger, we think, together than just by yourself. And it is also just what we try to do at the shop and with the coffee bar and the cafe in there, bring in the sauna. It is engaging the community, because it's kind of more Hygge together as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do. I mean, in the Vail Valley, I think it is really important that we all do come together and work together, and because, like you said, there are just such amazing small businesses in the valley, and it takes a lot of passion and grit and to make your businesses survive up here, I think, as well. And so I think coming together and really helping each other and coming up with fun ideas, and this really was mostly fun. We had a really fun time with it, and neat to connect with Dave and create this beautiful van. But I think in the Valley, just all of us coming together, it's important.
Yeah. And a big shout out to you guys as well with what you guys are doing with Covered Bridge to highlight those stories, those connections, and basically the passion from a lot of local entrepreneurs to bring that out there. It's much appreciated.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really wonderful to be able to bring these stories, partnerships, and wonderful people to life on TV8. So thank you so much for watching today, Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Enjoy the journey.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wildcrafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
Lion's Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lion's Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. Since 1981, Tracy Van Kuren has been running the Foods of Vail here in the Vail Valley, and she stopped in the kitchen to show Covered Bridge a delicious Asian pasta salad recipe that you can find in the summer and fall edition of Covered Bridge.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller, the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other owner and director of partnerships at Covered Bridge Magazine. We're here today with Tracy Van Kuren of Foods of Vail.
Yeah.
Tracy, thank you so much for being here with us. It's pretty exciting. Tracy's been in the Valley for quite some time, and if you have not been to Foods of Vail, I recommend swinging by there. Tracy, how long has Foods of Vail been going on?
Almost 35 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So just new to the Valley then?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I moved here in 1979.
That's amazing.
I know.
So,
What's your background in culinary, Tracy?
Well, my background is in business. I went to business school, but then when I decided that I wanted to venture into the culinary realm in a business, I went to France. I went to cooking school.
It's the place to
fabulous, go. Just fabulous. And I did lots of little mini seminars and courses, primarily self-taught, but France was really a game changer. Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm open to learning all about this wonderful recipe. We're featuring the Asian pasta salad in the summer and fall issue of Covered Bridge. Beautiful photo to complement, and we get to see it made here live. So walk us through, Tracy. How do we begin this recipe?
I would begin by cooking your pasta. In the recipe, I wrote that to use spaghetti, but when I'm doing a smaller batch, I love angel hair. I just love the way it feels on your mouth, so yummy and slippery. And so I love this Italian angel hair because I feel like the semolina flour really makes the pasta more durable and will hold up to, the dressing and the vegetables. So I like to start with the dressing. So it's a mayo-based dressing, so we're going to just start with our mayo.
Perfect. And in the magazine, I believe it's a serving size about 6 to 8. And if that's what we're working with today, then we'll, guests will be able to know, or not guests, we got guests. If you're having guests over, this is a perfect size for a picnic.
It might be a little bit more,
Okay.
I might serve a little bit more.
Okay, perfect.
But, okay, so start with your mayo, and then over here I have all these fabulous ingredients. So they're not totally pre-measured, but you can get the recipe in the magazine. So I'm going to start with like a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I'm going to do a little bit of this sambal olek. This is like an Indonesian chili paste, and it's very spicy. So I would start light, and then you can always add more later.
Depending on your spice level, yeah.
Exactly. Then I like to put just like a hint of sesame oil in there to give it that yummy umami undertone. This is tamari. I use tamari instead of soy sauce because it's gluten-free. And even though we are having it on pasta, but we only use tamari in our shop. And then a little squirt of sriracha, because we all love sriracha.
Yum.
Again, you can go a little heavier, if you like the spice to be a little bit elevated. And then the rice wine vinegar, this is like a toasted rice wine vinegar or seasoned rice wine vinegar, maybe about a quarter cup, because that's going to balance out the richness of the mayonnaise and those other spices. And kind of what you're looking for is like a little hot pink. Oh, I forgot my favorite.
Ooh.
The Thai chili sauce. We all love this. It's like the new ketchup. You can dip anything in it, and that's going to give it a little sweetness. It has a little heat to it, but it really mostly has a lot of sweetness. So now you have this really, really, really pretty base. Oh, I was going to let you taste it.
Yeah, it took no time at all.
Here you go. Here, what do you think? Taste that.
How is it, Bobby?
That's amazing.
Isn't that yummy?
And it took you
like what, 3 minutes?
Yeah, not even.
Yeah, so now I'm going to take my pasta and I'm going to put the sauce, the dressing in there. Can you hand me those tongs?
Of course.
Yeah, and so we'll give this, a nice toss. And, pasta always soaks up the dressing. So we're just going to start with that, and then we can toss it again a little bit later if we want. Okay, so then here, the vegetables that we put in there are sugar snap peas. You see those? And I've chopped those up. Yep. And then we've got some scallion, so green onion. Put those in there. Red bell pepper. You can do these either in chunks or in like little batons, if you will, like, make them a little bit bigger. Sometimes I think a little bigger is better because then you can snag it with your fork.
Yeah, a little more crunch when you want it, right?
Yeah, and sometimes when they're really small, you just can't get them with your fork. So I like them just slightly bigger. So
I love this dish for the season because it can be a main course, a great lunch item, or it can be a side at a picnic.
I have put chicken on this. I have put shrimp in there. Really good, because then it can be like a main course, al fresco dinner.
Yeah, you could package this up.
Yeah, it's a great picnic item.
Yeah.
Now, is this a salad that you serve at Foods of Vail?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
That's awesome.
And then the last thing is we like to have a little cilantro. And nice, but you don't have to pick the cilantro off like you do parsley because the stems are okay. So I'm just kind of rolling it into a little bunch, and then I'm just going to give it a rough chop. Yeah.
Nice.
And it doesn't have to be real fine either. I like to really get that flavor. And see, I have gloves on. best tools in the world to just absolutely toss all this together.
Pretty bright looking salad. So like Kim said, it's also, time of the year, right? I mean, it almost reminds you of spring and summer.
Yeah, I mean, I'd eat it all year long.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I happen to just
absolutely.
love it. Do you want to bring that bowl a little closer?
Yeah.
That serving bowl?
I think we'll be bringing this to Bravo Vail
There
this
you
summer.
go,
It's
and
a
then
perfect
just kind of
picnic
put
item.
it all in there.
Wow.
There you go. And then
Beautiful.
let's
Gosh,
just
amazing.
grab a little bit of our black sesame seeds.
Uh-huh.
Just for a little
finishing touch.
Wow.
finishing touch. I think that makes that so beautiful. What do you think?
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah?
Wow, and looks
I hope you guys are ready for lunch.
delicious.
Yeah, I hope you're ready for lunch.
So Foods of Vail is in Avon.
We are.
Yeah, tell us how to find you, and also in terms of ordering things ahead of time,
Mm-hmm.
how big can you handle? How you can also walk in and get a soup if you're a
We
diner.
have a brick and mortar, so you can walk in, you can take a look at all of our beautiful salads, and you can just buy them by the pound. We have fresh salmon. We have always like a chicken piccata. In the winter we might have more savory things like meatloafs and short ribs. Then we also have a whole freezer case full of lasagnas and chicken pot pies and King Ranch casseroles, and then soups galore. I mean, so you can come in and stock up your freezer. It's a great opportunity not to cook. And then we do have a full menu that you can order, all kinds of platters of food for parties, graduation parties, rehearsal dinners. We do a total off-premise catering component as well. So like this past Saturday we did the prom.
Oh yeah,
We did food for the prom. We did. And then the night before that we did a rehearsal dinner. So, all kinds of events happening in this valley.
Yeah, and if you haven't had an opportunity, I know when I'm driving around delivering magazines or looking for the next ad sale, I'm hungry a lot of times. And there's not a lot of quick options that are actually healthy options. I've gone to Foods of Vail several times, get myself a nice piece of chicken parmesan and a little side salad or just a soup to go. And I think, people should really look at you as that too. It's like, yes, you do catering, but it's a great spot to just grab a bite to eat quickly as well.
Absolutely. We have a few seats inside, and then in the summer we can spill outside, so we do have some, outdoor options for dining. And you're right, it's fast. You're just hungry, you come in, people come in and say, just give me, 5 ounces of chicken salad, and they just grab it and go.
Wow. Well, Tracy Van Kuren, thank you so much for
You are so
nourishing
welcome.
our valley and for sharing this beautiful recipe, Asian pasta salad, which you can also find in the summer and fall issue of Covered Bridge. Thank you all for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
TV8 is serving the community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, delivering content in all sorts of mediums. Take us with you on the go, as Good Morning Vail and Good Day Vail are now available as podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora. And don't forget, you can always find TV8 on YouTube, tv8vail.com, and all of our social media platforms. Just another reason why there's more for you on 92.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Fleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail for the start of your second hour here on Sunday, November 12th. I'm your host, Ben Roof, and we're going to continue on with our second hour talking about all things Covered Bridge. We're going to talk to an athlete, an artist, a photographer, and more. So your second hour of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Fleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Welcome to Street Magic.
I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake!
Welcome aboard! Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. As part of our continued coverage of the Covered Bridge magazine and their summer and fall edition, we spoke to Jennifer Weintraub about her article about postpartum recovery and hiking here in the Vail Valley. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller. I am the co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge magazine. We have the pleasure today of sitting down with Jennifer Weintraub, a longtime local here at the Vail Valley. She's a fantastic creative who does a lot of contributing to Covered Bridge magazine. So we're excited to have Jen on the couch today here at Covered Bridge on TV8. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I just mentioned you're a longtime local in the Valley. How long have you actually been in the Vail Valley? Or Eagle River Valley?
Yeah, I've been here for almost 15 years.
Amazing.
I came here, like many people, just for a winter, and I don't know, I've found a husband, I found a job, we found a home, and we love it, and this is where we raise our family. I have 2 kids who are 3 months and 2.5.
And Jennifer does a lot of contributing to Covered Bridge. You've done photography. You were our cover photographer last summer, a beautiful mountain bike shot on the Grand Traverse.
Yes.
And you do style for us, which, she's a great consultant for that, obviously. And the article that we're focusing on today is about mountain mamas and tips for postpartum specifically. So for the summer-fall issue, the title of the magazine, Tips for Mountain Mamas, the truth behind postpartum recovery. And Jennifer was sharing with me earlier that the article was a struggle for you. And tell me a little bit about that.
So I originally pitched you the article. I was probably 2 weeks postpartum, and I wanted to still be in the magazine, so I wanted to send you something, and anything I wrote, it didn't sit right. And part of that was I was writing this when I had a newborn, 1 or 2 months old, and I'm working during naps and nights, which are these tiny little windows of like 1 hour to 1.5 hours. You're not on a ton of sleep. Our sleep is pretty good, but you're just not yourself. You're not focused, and then you have this little window, and you're like, okay, sit down, be creative, right, go. And things you just can't turn on like that, and I think that was why I struggled through this, is getting a clear mind without any distraction of all the other million things you have to do that are running through your mind. And also because I was in it, writing this about postpartum recovery, I hadn't even recovered yet because I was so fresh and in it. But I knew, this being my second pregnancy, I had learned so much from the first one. I had a better plan of what I was going to do with this pregnancy. So I did have a better idea, and I've been working with physical therapy, pelvic floor specialists, and so I knew a lot more going into this one. But it was really tough.
Yeah, well, this quote, and I'm going to read this just to set the tone for, I think this poured out of you in the sense of this is what I was going through with the article, but also in the moment, in the sense it's not exactly what, the expectations can be different than what you maybe have thought, especially, you had already had one baby and then you had another, and so different experiences. So Jennifer writes, within 6 months of giving birth, I thought I would feel like myself again, but I was far from healed. Many women, especially those who were active before and during pregnancy, expect to bounce back quickly. I was surprised at how long my body didn't feel like my own. Recovery from pregnancy takes longer than most would expect, even for the fittest of athletes. Stephanie Drew, a certified women's health specialist at Howard Head Sports Medicine, says it's normal for it to take up to 2 years to feel fully recovered.
Yeah, that was a big surprise for me. So I started working with Stephanie Drew. She's a physical therapist at Howard Head Sports Medicine who specializes in women's health and pelvic floor. And during my second pregnancy, I had so much pain in my lower back and shooting down my leg that I could barely walk. Eventually it went away. I think it was just how the baby was sitting, but I started going to her to see what we could do. And in going to her for that, I started asking all these other questions about, okay, well, we're not really solving anything right now, so I just have to let it go and embrace this is where I am and do what I can, which is walk when I could. And then we started just talking about what do I need to do for postpartum. And, my first pregnancy, they said at 6 weeks, you're cleared. I'm like, okay, great, I can start running. And I told her that, and she was like, no. Not that you can't, but running is such a high impact sport on your pelvic floor, which is stretched so much during pregnancy, and your core, which is stretched. And so now you have no stability. And your core, that's the stability for all movement that you do. And so you can start exercising right after pregnancy, but not those high impact sports. And I had no idea. So I actually followed her directions this time and waited the full 12 weeks to start running. But that was when she said it takes 2 years, it can take up to 2 years. I was really surprised when you think about it. And women, your body's being stretched, your hormones are crazy, and it just, there's a lot of things going on in your body. And if you have knee surgery, yes, you can ski the next year, but you don't have that full strength in your knee. You're not skiing to the same level of aggressiveness that you were before surgery. Probably your second season, you're back skiing as aggressively as you were before. And I just didn't think about that with pregnancy. You just expect, okay, 6 weeks, you should start healing again, but it takes that long for everything to recover. And not only that, for you to build your strength back up. So a few things I found interesting when I was talking to them were, one of them is your body heals and recovers when you're sleeping. And new mamas aren't sleeping very much. So it takes a lot longer to recover. So I've noticed this time, sometimes I feel great and I run, and maybe I'll do it 1 or 2 days in a row, and then I'm exhausted. And so you have this level of exhaustion that you don't have when you're totally okay. And it just takes a lot longer for your body to recover because of sleep, because if you're breastfeeding, you're still sharing those nutrients with your baby. So it's not, your body still isn't your own. And I was surprised to hear how long it takes to actually regain your endurance, your strength, and your fitness.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear that from my side of things, right? It's like we just get to kind of observe, and obviously you see the body change and you see the body react, but to understand that from an athletic standpoint, you being a pretty big mountain athlete, you're out there on your bike, you're out there hiking, you're out there doing all these things, and what has also helped, you mentioned physical, but is there some stuff you're doing for the mind to just remind yourself, or some mantras or things that you have to get you through those tough times of when you might want to go running, but the body is not reacting the way you want it to?
So I've really tried to embrace doing what I can and just having grace and patience through the process. And some days that's easier than others. Obviously, it depends how much sleep I get, how much coffee I've had, but it's doing what I can. So when I don't feel great, just getting outside, I'm going to go for a walk and wear the baby. And, just getting some fresh air is great. Finding the support of moms groups is great, and just taking care of yourself. But I think it's just trying to embrace okay, I can't run, but I can walk. I can't do this, but I can do this. And so trying to have just patience in the process, because it takes a lot longer than you think. And just like you're recovering from an injury, if you had knee surgery or shoulder surgery or any other surgery, you would give yourself that patience. You'd be going to physical therapy, you'd be taking care of yourself, and you'd have that time to recover, and it would take about 2 years to have that strength and that muscle mass back.
Well, you speak to that. I mean, it's pretty amazing, that side of things. But I've noticed from your social media, I've noticed from keeping an eye on what you and your family is up to, is you really haven't seemed to skip a beat. I mean, you're still out there adventuring. I see camping. I think I saw international travel already.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty exceptional. Can you offer any advice to some moms out there to my life isn't over. It's
no.
What is that?
So we've changed our expectations. So we did go to Mexico with a 3-month-old and a 2.5-year-old. And I think the hardest part was getting a passport photo for a 5-week-old, because you have to have them sit still, and that's just not possible. So, but our expectations were just, we're going to eat good food, we're going to have some drinks, we're going to relax, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to go to the pool. And we didn't have these big expectations. Yes, we miss our big trips where we used to hike all day and bike all day and take motorbikes through Indonesia to these waterfalls and all these crazy adventures, and we're not there right now. And so it's okay, we're trying to focus on the things we can do. So camping, Fruta is a great spot for kids because we can take loops and do that through the campground, and finding other friends who are in the same boat as us, because then we can do girls go for a ride, guys go for a ride, and trading off. So it's, I see other people's adventures, and it's hard. I'm like, man, I really miss that, and I miss doing that. And we're it's just for now. They're little, and it's just for now. So it's what can we do? But in that, we've also found other destinations and other things to do. So where's a spot that we can go hiking, and we find different things where, other than we're going to go to our same places that we always go, like Moab and Crested Butte and all these places. And we haven't been to Moab in years because they're all big rides and they're spread out. So we miss it, but what can we do? And so I think trying to shift that focus, and it's not always easy, but it's more important to get out and do something than to stay at home and do nothing. And you're not always going to have everything right. When we went camping, I packed the wrong clothes, and I forgot this, and I didn't do that. And it's a learning experience. And so I didn't get it right, but I'm okay, so next time I want to bring these pants or this toy for them or whatever it is. But you only learn by doing. And unfortunately, sometimes failure, you learn the best. You just... you have to get through it, but I think the fear of holding back is worse than staying at home and having that regret.
Yeah, I think we'll have to potentially have a follow-up piece that's adventuring with kids, right?
Yeah.
We'll continue to have Jennifer contribute to Covered Bridge in ways that are so interesting to readers, and this has been very interesting for all of the viewers, and definitely a worthwhile conversation, and more to come. So congratulations on baby number 2.
Thank
and
you.
continuing to get out there with your family. And thank you so much for contributing to this
Absolutely.
issue. Definitely pick it up, summer and fall, the Journey issue of Covered Bridge magazine. And this has been Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Hello, everyone. I'm Raisa Pascal. And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I? Yes, I do.
So even though you work with some good deals, too good to miss on flash deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Snooki and Scott show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the immersion theater.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. One of Covered Bridge's favorite things to do is to talk to locals about what brought them to the Vail Valley and what's kept them here for years and years. And up next, they spoke to Eric Brofos, a longtime local who has raised his family here in the Vail Valley, and about his recent feature in Covered Bridge magazine.
Hi everyone, welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller and I'm the co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge magazine. Today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Eric Brofos, a longtime local of the Vail Valley. Welcome, Eric.
Hi.
Hey,
how
thanks,
are
sir. I'm fantastic, man. How about you?
I'm really good.
Yeah, you just got back from
springtime.
Ooh, and you got back from perfect timing, right? You just arrived back today or yesterday?
Oh, last night, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Eric has many things that we could talk about today, but he was gracious enough to be our Live Like a Local in the upcoming issue of Covered Bridge magazine. And I think, there's a lot to the depth of, again, what you've added to this valley, what you've brought to this community. But maybe start to how you got here. That'd be fantastic for me to hear when you arrived in this lovely valley.
Yeah, so my parents were applying for a job here to manage the first ski shop in Vail. and they worked at a ski shop in New Hampshire. So we all packed up and drove out here to see what Vail was about and talked to Dick Hauserman and some of the early locals about what that would look like. And upon coming here and going up on the mountain and so on in the fall, my dad turned around and drove back, sold the house, hooked up a U-Haul, and drove everything out. So that's how I ended here at the age of 7.
You remember that move pretty
I do.
specifically, and
Yeah.
what that was like?
I do the loaded down car and coming over Vail Pass and driving down into a valley with nothing and trying to figure out how we were going to live here.
Uh-huh.
And that was back in the good old days when there was tons of things to do, lots of establishments built, right? Like, or how did that go? You know,
there was nothing. There were dirt roads, and town was basically from Golden Peak to maybe about where just past, where the hospital is now.
Mm-hmm.
The old hospital was there, and that was town, and there was not much in it, but there were just no I-70, no buildings, you know, past that east or west. So that was basically it.
And you started going to school.
Yes.
Right away.
Right above the fire station.
Okay, how many kids were with you in school?
At that time, I'm not sure. There were a couple of classrooms, and the school varied in size. At the smallest, it had 8. And then I think by the time I graduated, I had a class of 4, but I think the school was up to maybe 40 or something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was pretty small.
Wow, and even probably during the school months, it was this way. So in the article, Live Like a Local, Eric says, growing up here was like going to summer camp every day.
Yeah, because all we did was go hike, camp, fish. I mean, there was nothing to do. Obviously, no television. There weren't many facilities that were built to have any activities for kids. Diana Donovan ran a summer camp from Donovan's fame, and so we would go pile into her Land Rover, you know, and drive up the dirt road to Piney and go fishing for the day and do that kind of stuff. But there really wasn't much to do other than go hang out outside all day.
So, I mean, you've seen over the years the valley drastically shift, change, still become what it is today, this world-class destination.
Right.
You're still here.
Right.
What is it that keeps you here? What is it that, you know, you love so much that we have you after 60-something years still?
I'm growing up with Vail, I figure out. Well, you know, everybody asks me, like, did you ever move away? Well, my family was here. You know, my parents were here. Then my kid was here, my daughter Whitney. And so it was like always, it was home. It's where you came back to. You know, I always went to other places, but it was really, really awesome to come home here. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show some photos with the segment that we're lucky enough to have and be able to publish in Covered Bridge. But also you shared some with us this morning that were of Vail Mountain when it was newly cut in. Early on. Yeah. So what are some of your standout memories of, even when, you know, we talked about when you moved here and started school and then, you know, having life like a summer camp, but as you grew older, started your family, and, you know, continuing to make memories, the photos really showcase the amount of fun that you have and the amount of participation, which is a lot, that you have in this community. So what has that been like for you?
Well, I think, you know, with the mountain itself, it was, you know, from Riva Ridge to Picaroon, if you can imagine that width. And, you know, everybody asks, like, you know, did you backcountry ski, did you ski East Vail Chutes, did you do any of that? And no, because Rim Run was out of bounds, and Lodgepole and Lion's Head was out of bounds, and, you know, all that. So it was really, it was a much closer, you just, you know, would ski out, ski through the trees and come back wherever that took you. But we didn't have to explore very far to go have good fun. It wasn't quite as adventurous as it is now. Yeah.
But adventurous in its own way.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
being a new place, a new destination for so many people.
I wasn't the lost boy. That was somebody else.
That's good.
No trails named after you that you know of.
Exactly.
But you remember that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's you know, it's pretty exciting to have someone who's actually, you know, not even born here, but has spent their whole life here, raised the family here, to actually share those words. Because as we know, the Valley has probably never been an easy place to live. I mean, you're talking back then it was fun, but I'm sure your parents, it was a struggle just to get here, number one. And then when they got here, it's like, how do we keep these kids occupied? And then off seasons and all of that. So it's inspiring to have your words in the publication to give us hope that we can create a life here and we can be here forever and raise a family here and see the ebbs and flows of what might be next. Who knows? There might be new ski runs somewhere. Maybe there'll be a connecting lift, you know, all these glorious ideas of burying I-70, you know, maybe they'll come to fruition.
Right. And I think even through all those times, I think we had the same struggles everyone has now about how do you make it on one job? You don't. You have 2 jobs or 3 jobs. And housing, you know, housing has always been an issue no matter when we started. And I just don't think we've ever been able to get ahead of any of those kind of things. So it's kind of interesting to see that the same things that are topical today are things that we started with when we had nothing. We just had more space to try and build things.
Yeah, so what, you know, right now, as you are here in the Valley, and we're in a transitional season, which is sort of a nice time to refresh, regroup, get ready for the busy summer ahead.
Right.
You know, what excites you about what's to come, about the future of this community, and what already exists in this community that you're a part of?
Well, I think it's still the same thing. Is we have the outdoors and we have access to so many things so close to us. And you know, in the wintertime, it's primarily skiing or winter-based activities. In the summer, that just goes. I feel like it explodes. It opens it up to many more people that don't maybe take advantage of everything in the winter. So I'm always excited to go do all those things again and see new things and go back to places that I haven't been to maybe in years and revisit them and just share that passion and love with everyone else that likes to go outside and explore. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. And then Eric, for those who are visiting Vail and watching this, or locals themselves, what does it mean to you to live like a local in the Vail Valley?
I always include ownership in that. I think if you're going to be a local here, you have to take some ownership in the community and building part of that. And I think what you guys do is so great in bringing everybody together, making an awareness about that. And I think we just have to get involved in what we dream and what we want and what we ask for, and find a group or find a way to give back, because if you're just sitting back, you're not really helping the community. So whether it's a mountain cleanup day or, you know, volunteer and do something and get involved.
Well, that's amazing. It's awesome to have Eric share those words, and I think he nailed it at the end there. You want to be a local here in the Vail Valley. How can you get involved? There's so many opportunities for you to better your community, to be more involved in your community and make new connections. So we're excited for you guys to read Eric's article, Live Like a Local, in the upcoming issue of Covered Bridge Magazine.
Yeah, and check out all those great photos as well. So thank you for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Enjoy the journey.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood, Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, real homeowners tackle really big renos.
Welcome to the ugliest house in the neighborhood.
It's a wild ride from before to after.
If we go to the tile store one more time, only one of us is coming out alive.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do all that.
Between the budget and the timeline, it's makeover madness.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. I don't know if you guys are aware, but the Race Across the Sky, also known as the Leadville 100, is one of the biggest events here in the area for competitors from all over the world and a lot of competitors from here in the Vail Valley. And Covered Bridge spoke to Corey Crane, a local endurance runner, about the work she needed to do to get ready for the Leadville 100 and how that race went for her. Let's take a look.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Covered Bridge on TV8. My name is Kim Fuller. I'm the co-owner of Jaunt Media Collective in West Vail and the editor-in-chief of Covered Bridge magazine.
And I'm Bobby LaRue, the other co-owner and the director of partnerships at Covered Bridge magazine as well. We have the pleasure of sitting down with Corey Crane, a longtime local and an endurance athlete here in Vail, Colorado. So Corey, welcome to a Covered Bridge on TV8. It's an honor to be sitting down with you. We've known each other for, gosh, a better part of longer than a decade now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited to talk about the article we have coming up on you, but we're also excited just to get to know you a little bit more. Let the readers and the viewers know a little bit more about Corey Crane, how you made it here, what you've done in the Valley, and kind of your adventure and journey through endurance athletics.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So how long have you lived here in the Valley?
So I moved to Vail, actually. I just picked it on a map in September of 2001. I moved out from Alabama. I just wanted a change of scenery, and here I am 22 years later.
Wow, so picked it on a map. What was that process?
I literally,
like?
I knew I wanted to be in the mountains. I knew I liked Colorado, having, driven out here with family road trips. And I literally just picked Vail on the map. It was a little bit closer to Denver if I needed to fly home to see the fam in Alabama. And here I am 22 years later. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I think it's always fun to hear everyone's story. Myself, like we go through these ups and downs in the valley of finding our way, right? So what have you done in this valley as far as employment and then also like adventure? Because I think that's a big part of it.
Sure. Yeah, so when I first moved out here, it was literally the week after 9/11. So there was a huge hiring freeze, pretty much a ghost town. I clearly didn't do my research. You can't get a job really in September. Nobody's hiring, as we all know. So, I just kind of had some fun for a couple months. But then, I did everything from ticket sales to specialty sports back in the day, worked for Vail Mountain. And for the past 18 years, I've been employed by East West Resorts, so in property management in Beaver Creek.
That is amazing. And, I've met you, gosh, I think through yoga originally.
Yes.
But you're out there all the time on the mountains. I mean, I see you whether it's ski season, bike season, running season.
Right.
Some of your favorite sports are, and then what are you currently working on?
Sure. So going back to when we first met in 2010, I should say. I was a big yogi. I loved it. I still practice. But I love to mountain bike. I love to ski. In fact, this season I had one of my biggest history for working a full-time job. I was pretty psyched on close to 70 days on the mountain. And a lot of that's before the lifts open or after the lifts close, just to fluctuate with my work schedule. And then, I just got into, I work out at the gym, that kind of thing, and I just kind of got into running. And for me, it's just a way of releasing energy from the day or, exploring on my own 2 feet. And I love going out with my dog, but a couple of really good friends of mine just kind of got me into bigger distance running. So that's where the past 5 years have really come into play. And when I first discovered ultra distance, which is anything over a marathon distance, 26 miles, I was in my late 30s. So I was kind of late to the game, but I was there for it. I was excited for it. And now that I've approached my mid 40s, I'm all like game on. I'm so freaking pumped. I've just got so much planned this summer. With the final hurrah of being the Leadville 100 in August. So that's what I'm currently training for. So
it's so exciting and impressive to be following your journey. And so, we do have an article in the summer-fall issue of Covered Bridge, which is our journey issue, featuring Corey and your journey to the race across the sky, the Leadville 100. Yeah. Tell us about the decision to sign up for the Leadville 100, the process of actually getting into the race, and what your training has been looking like.
Sure. So last year I ran the Leadville Marathon, which is held every June. It's pretty tough. 26 miles takes you up to Mosquito Pass, which is above 13,000 feet. So you can only imagine the little oxygen we have as training. But I had an awesome race, and at the awards, you can enter your bib if you'd like into their so-called lottery. And my name was called, and I got the infamous coin to the Leadville 100.
Oh, let's get a close-up on that coin. So this is what's pulled if you get picked or to put your name in?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you literally... you qualify, and then you can sign up through your bib number. Okay. And I, got the lottery coin. And so you literally, right then and there, you have to make a decision. Are you running it this year, or are you running it next year? And for me, I was running the Trans-Selkirks last August, which is a 6-day, 120-mile race through the mountains of British Columbia. So I knew I couldn't race in August. So essentially, I've been signed up for almost a year. And what my training looks like is I started with my coach in January, and I like having a coach because it holds me accountable. He gives me my workouts over the weekend, and then I can tune them into how my work schedule looks like, or just life in general, right? But I'm held accountable. I know what I need to do. I might fluctuate Tuesday for Wednesday or vice versa, but I told him, I said, I will do the work. I'm very disciplined. I'm very focused. I want this. And so it's been fun working the past 5 months, and I'm just slowly building mileage. And, you know, the season during the winter, I did a lot of cross training, right? So I didn't want to just run because I knew I would get burned out. So essentially I've been skiing quite a bit, like I said before, after hours, you know, ski touring. I fat biked quite a bit on the trails locally. I got into Nordic skiing and I skated quite a bit, you know, for the endurance and swimming. So I feel like I've covered all angles, but now that we're getting into drier trails, I'm really starting to amp up the mileage. So this past weekend, I was in Leadville training because that's the best thing you can do for your lungs and your legs is get up to 11,000 feet. The weekend before, I went to the Grand Canyon. I ran down to the river and back. So I'm just, for me, it's all about adventure and just learning to love it. I'm doing this because I truly love it. I'm not, I have to. I want it. Like, I'm focused. So I've really dedicated to it, and a lot of it's part of my new lifestyle too these past 2 years.
That's amazing.
I know Kim has a couple questions, but quickly,
Sure.
you just mentioned something as an athlete that I think some of us, you know, we get sucked into one sport, we train so hard. How important has the cross training been for overall physical and then also like injury prevention?
Right. Well, that's a good point. So overall cross training, you work all different sets of muscles. So women, as we get older, our fast twitch muscles do start to deteriorate. So for me, it's important to work all aspects of my mental training as well as my, you know, physical physique. So swimming's awesome cardio, endurance, getting up, you know, to ski down, that's phenomenal lung power. So I've really been diving into different to A, just mentally not get burned out with just running, but B, also to enjoy all the sports that I essentially moved to Colorado for. So,
yeah, it's really fun to follow along on your training and to go along sometimes too when we're lucky enough.
We've had some good weekends training together.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Corey, you've been very vocal in the last, I guess it would be about 2 years, about a journey of sobriety. And what led to that choice, and how has that impacted what you're doing now?
Sure. Well, so it was actually 2 years just this past week on May 9th.
That's amazing. And
just how that stemmed, I think, you know, when I moved here in my early 20s, you know, it's go time. It's fun. It's ski town lifestyle. It's party. You know, alcohol's everywhere. It's, you know, socially accepted in our society and our culture here. And when I hit 40, you know, I was at an all-time high, just having the best time of my life. But, you know, those highs definitely bring your lows too. So we being my husband and I went to Mexico 2 years ago to visit some friends that lived down there. And, you know, I definitely kept it chill that week. I just wasn't into it like normal beach trips usually are. And I remember it was Mother's Day. It was May 9th, and we went to the airport. And I said, oh, should I spend these last pesos and get another Corona? And I thought to myself, I don't need it. I don't need this. So I got home the next day, and I was really focused on getting back to work. You know, your routine. You're not at the beach anymore. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to drink this week. I just want to be healthy, right? Well, my last sip of alcohol was May 8th, 2021. So somehow I quit cold turkey. It was absolutely mind-blowing, especially those that know my past. But I've got nothing but awesome things to say about sobriety. And for me, it's been a life-changing decision, best adult decision I've ever made. I'm still having a great time. I'm still hanging out with my friends, you know. I'm now DD, you know. And it's just really been inspiring and empowering for especially my lifestyle of, you know, my crazy work schedule, and then adding on top of it my training. And just knowing that I'm walking every day with a clear lens, and I feel good. And if I don't sleep well, then it's something perhaps I ate that day, but there's never this blame of, you know, perhaps a drink the night before. So I really do feel that you know, the non-alcoholic movement is definitely taking a trend in our society, and I'm super proud and honored to be a part of it. And I do encourage those that might have a little issue or some sober curious just to look into it. Just a 30-day detox, 42-day detox. There's so much more to it. I mean, there's your physical, there's your mental, there's your spiritual. I mean, my finances, your skin, your sleep. I mean, nobody said, gosh, my habitual drinking habits have really, empowered my life, right? So I feel that if there is a little bit of an issue, in the gray area drinking, look into it. And, I'm happy to speak with you or whatnot. There's awesome programs in town. I know there's, wonderful podcasts to listen to, and just a little bit of encouragement. If you go to reach for that beer, just give it 15 minutes. Give it 15 minutes. Instead, lace up your shoes, go for a walk, and just think, okay, am I going to regret this, or am I going to feel better about my decision?
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's just been
really helpful.
Yeah,
I think for a lot of people.
Yeah, and for me, I know that I'm on the right path, and I'm super excited about it. You can probably just tell. I just want to shout it from the mountaintops. My life has just improved, and I'm very grateful for it. So,
super inspiring on so many levels, Corey.
Thanks.
Yeah. In the closing of the article on Corey is a quote from her that I'd love to read here. And I think it really relates to everything we've been chatting about today. Anyone who's willing to step out of their comfort zone, that's where growth really happens. I want to encourage people to live an awesome, healthy life and enjoy the beautiful mountains we live in. And if you're struggling, reach out to a friend. There's always hope around the next corner. Mm-hmm. And we really hope that on your journey of training this summer and the actual race, 100 miles, so the Leadville 100 in August, that those times it does get challenging, you know that hope is around that next corner for you.
Yeah, and just know that growth comes from possibility, it comes from opportunity, but you have to want it, and it takes a lot of discipline. I know I committed to this, and so I wake up every day with gratitude, with discipline, and just excitement, and yes, there's obviously some lows, but the highs definitely outnumber the lows, and I'm just eager for my summer of racing and my friendships, and I've got some fun concerts on the books, so, life doesn't slow down just because alcohol's not involved. I've got to remind listeners about that. It definitely is an eye-opening experience, and so, but thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for everything you do in this community.
Well, thank you.
We'll be following your bib number.
Yes.
We might even be out there. We've got a couple friends that are running, so it's really fun to go out and support. So great luck with training this summer, Corey. Thank you for joining us and for participating in the article as well. Yeah. Corey Crane here, and we will all be watching her in anticipation of an amazing race, Leadville 100 this August. Thank you all for watching Covered Bridge on TV8. We'll see you next time.
Have a good day.
Good morning, Vail.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, We workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, oh my God, this is delicious, or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler, I live and work in Vail. Come see me at Sweet Basil.
More than ever, kids need information to help them better understand their surroundings and to better protect themselves. Each week, this program works with the various law enforcement agencies across the country and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, spotlighting several missing cases, hoping someone, like you, might have information that will lead to finding these individuals.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, that's all the time we have for this Sunday, November 12th edition of Good Morning Vail. Thank you so much to Covered Bridge for all of the incredible interviews and for continuing to follow all of the goings-on here in the Vail Valley, and for really taking that extra bit of interest in what people are doing and their backgrounds and what's been going on. So make sure you pick up an edition of the fall and summer version of Covered Bridge before the winter edition comes out here any week now. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out here with us at Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Ben Roof, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all.